Good evening, everybody. The Music Fan is back, bringing smiles to the faces, knowledge to the people, and most importantly, music to the masses. I am clean shaven. I just got back from vacation, and I am super excited to continue on with my end of the year list for 2021. Last time, we took a look at the consensus top 50 list from albumoftheyear.org, and before I go over my list proper by starting off with the honorable mentions, I want to do something a little bit different. Tonight, I'm going to be going over my top 50 songs from 2021. Yes, this is the inverse of what I usually do. I usually talk about how albums aren't just made up of one song, but more of the collection itself. But I wanted to give myself a little bit of a challenge. So I looked for my favorite songs from each album and I compiled it. There is only one particular rule, and that is I kept myself to one song per album. There are a lot of albums have amazing songs and probably could have had multiple spots in the top 50. But I want to give recognition to some albums that may have not have made my list, but had an amazing song that stuck with me. These songs are going to range in terms of stuff that I just really found enjoyable, or stuff with really interesting chord progressions, or stuff that had just really poignant lyrics. But usually you'll find a combination of one or two of those parts as we get higher on into the list. And trust me, there are definitely a lot of songs that I missed. So if there's a particular song that you don't see on this list, it could be that I just never listened to that album, or it may have just missed the cut for being my favorite song of that particular album. So let's get down to business, starting with number 50, which is the Royal Blood song, Boilermaker. This is a prime example of an album that didn't make my list, but had an incredibly catchy song. This is the one that stood out to me on Royal Blood's album Typhoons, solely because it kind of didn't fit in that vibe of more dancey, grungy rock. Instead, this just had a killer backbeat in terms of drumming, some great chugging, earthy guitar lines, as well as some really solid singing, building on with a lot of really good layering. It honestly sounded to me like some of the more current work from Queens of the Stone Age, which makes a lot of sense because Josh Homme was one of the producers for this song. You even see it in the music video itself, with a lot of the artwork being inspired by the Queens of the Stone Age. So really, really catchy song that helped break up some of the monotony on Typhoons. Number 49 from Tune Yards, we have Hypnotized. This was my first dive into a Tune Yards album, and it really surprised me. There was a lot of really interesting chord progression work, a lot of interesting timing work, a lot of songs with a lot of nice layering, and just a lot of weird songs in general. There could have been a couple songs that probably would have fit this particular slot. One that comes to mind is Hold Yourself, but I found this one to be a little bit more intriguing, with the more mellow and mysterious verse line to the chorus that had a lot of really flowing lines with a lot of really good harmony and call and response. I find the minimalist parts of the verses building up to a more interesting chorus also working really well in this song's favor. Also bear in mind that this is specifically my favorite songs of 2021. They don't necessarily have to be singles, just any song on any particular album. There are going to be some times where I just use the album artwork rather than the single artwork because there isn't any. Number 48 from Evanescence, we have Feeding the Dark. Yes, the production isn't amazing on this song sometimes, but man, I just love the build of this song. Amy Lee sounds phenomenal on it. The tension that is built about a song about someone who fucked up with Amy Lee and that they're going to get their comeuppance, and in due time. Hell of a song, hell of a chorus. That line of, well, I know you can't hide and you know you can't lie because I know all your secrets. Like, that is such a powerful line. Number 47 from Tokyo Ska Paradise Orchestra, we have A Touch of Spring. This song puts such a smile on my face. It is just really charming, really beautiful at times, even with an organ solo. The flute and trumpet parts at the beginning using the melody is just absolutely drop dead gorgeous. They work so well with each other. I love the jazzy chord progression with the C going to like an F sharp to an F major 7 and using that B flat 7 at the end to go back to C. Really gorgeous. It sounded like it could have been used honestly in a Mario game, and it just is so much fun. If you're looking for something that's going to put a smile on your face, check this one out. Number 46 from Black Midi, we have John L. This is a hurricane of a song and an even more twisted music video. It feels like a Dr. Seuss Whoville dance number on acid, and it's just really catchy. Talking about John L., this like holy man, religious man coming to town to save all the townsfolk, and everyone lining up to see him and be in his presence, and then eventually the people turning on him because they find out he's a fraud. This is such a bombastic beginning of Cavalcade and a amazing sophomore album from Black Midi. I just love the bombastic nature of it. I love the disjointed multi-layering of instruments, especially when you get to the timing changes. I also enjoy that there's a little bit of a lull before getting back into the hurricane of a song at the end. Number 45 from Transatlantic, we have the closing song, Love Made a Way. This album, The Absolute Universe, is absolutely universal, as in it is a grand progressive opera spanning about an hour and a half, and this was a perfect way to end this particular album. There are some vocal lines that feel a little bit weak from Neil Morse, but for the most part it is a beautiful end to an amazing album, especially when you get the guitars and the strings at the end in the last 30 seconds of a really epic album. Hell of a song. Check it out. It's a beautiful way of sending this album off, especially talking about finding comfort and recomfort in a partner during a very traumatic time. Number 44 from Black Country New Road, we have Opus, the ending track to their debut album, and it is another one of these post-punk whirlwinds, but this one plays a little bit more with the tempo dynamics. This one starting off very slowly and before getting into a bang with some klezmer work, with some horn work that is absolutely gorgeous at times, especially when you get the multi-layerings building onto each other. You get this whirlwind of horns that are absolutely gorgeous before getting back into the lulling parts where the lead vocalist can spin his tail before everything comes to a head at the end of the album. Man, such a hectic song, but with a great payoff. Number 43 from Haley Williams, we got My Limb, the song that could have fit most on Petals for Armor, but is a great standout for Flowers for Vases. I love the rhythmic approach. I really like this call and response of my limb, my limb, my limb, my limb, don't let go my limb, and that particular vibe of the end of a relationship and the losing of love, and kind of making it into a medical metaphor of cutting off this tie and having this limb as the reminder. Number 42 from Little Sims, we have How Did You Get Here, the ending of an incredible album, I Might Be Introvert. This is when Little Sims kind of has her moment of epiphany of, I got here from all my hard work and I deserve to keep going, but also take the time to appreciate all my hard work through all the strife that I have been through. The more gospel-y backing vocals and the more old school hip hop piano makes for a beautiful R&B hip hop ballad. The ride that we go on with this album, having this more serene moment of thought, especially with an album dealing with introversion and social anxiety, as well as trying to live up to the standards that you create for yourself, as well as for the standards that your family has put out there for you. It is a beautiful moment of epiphany and an incredible end to an incredible album. Number 41 from Squid, we have Pamphlets, the last of the more post-punk songs. This one does great with the building. The other two from Black Midi and Black Country were more of hurricanes. This one is a slow burn, but is one that keeps you on the edge of your seat as the payoff comes at the end, where the lead singer is screaming, "Pamphlets through my door and pamphlets through my floor. Open up, we've got everything that you like." As this particular person is probably going insane from all of the pamphlets that he gets from the people that are trying to get his attention. Number 40 from Volbeat, we have Becoming. There were a couple other songs I was thinking in this spot, but this one just from start to finish is a lot of fun. You get the more intense thrash metal approaches at the beginning, leading to something that's a little bit more slow paced, but still has a lot of great energy. I love the chorus and verse melodies, and I love the message coming from the song, as well as a lot of this album talking about the insanity of hell and the devil, and just finding comfort in and zen in the moment as you're watching the flames grow higher and higher. A hell of a song. Number 39 from Ice Nine Kills, we have Hip to Be Scared. I love this homage to American Psycho. There's just so many really cool touches that help you get into that mindset of the movie. Most of the song is a little bit more slow pace at the beginning, with the main character being more calm and collected. But as things go off the rail, the song speeds up and the singing gets a little bit more manic, kind of displaying the duplicity of this character. Then I also, of course, love the interlude part and the sketch with the hip to be square, but it gets a little bit twisted at the end. I won't ruin that part, but I will let you know that Jacoby Shaddix from Papa Roach is on this song, and hey, he has a great cameo. Number 38 from Halsey, we have The Tradition. This album kind of was a disappointment for me, but hell, that opening song screams Trent Reznor, Atticus Ross, and Nine Inch Nails. The creepy, dissonant piano work, you've heard it a lot from Trent Reznor, but it works so well as the main instrument for Halsey to sing over this kind of sinister song, especially when she's singing, "Take what you want, take what you can, take what you need, don't give a damn, ask for forgiveness, never permission." It feels very carnival, at times very eerie, and when you're singing about "That's the tradition," it makes it sound like there's some sinister undertones underneath it. Love the pairing, wish that the album was a little bit better, but hell, at least it gave us this gem. Number 37 from Between the Baron and Me, we have Turbulent. One of the more accessible songs on the album, but still it has a lot of really fun guitar work ideas in 5/4, as well as some great vocal overlays throughout the song. I love more of Between the Baron and Me's clean work at times, and this is one of their better clean work songs. Gives you a little bit of time to breathe before the chaotic ending of the album. Number 36 from Pentatonics, we have Be My Eyes. Be my eyes, be my eyes, be my eyes, be my eyes when I can't see. Oh, oh. A very catchy song. I've missed Pentatonics doing this well. They did an amazing job with their first album in a while, where it's all just their work instead of doing cover songs. This is the most catchy of them, but there's a lot of really beautiful harmony works, as well as a lot of really fun bell chords. Makes for a really catchy song. Number 35 from Sam Fender, we have Spit of You. This song is very touching, especially when you watch the music video. This song is about Sam talking about his father and the things that he would love to say to him, but for some reason just can't. As he says, he can talk to anyone, but he can't talk to you. It's very touching on the second verse when Sam is seeing his father say goodbye to his own mother, closing her eyes and weeping uncontrollably, seeing this vulnerability from his father and realizing someday that he will do the same for his own father. Really poignant message. The song builds beautifully, especially when you get to the last verse where Sam Fender is singing in his high register with so much power. Those three lines that I can talk to anyone, I can talk to anyone, I can't talk to you. There's some beautiful horn work at the end as well, giving this really simplistic yet beautiful guitar work some more bombast to make for a nice and very touching song on an album that deals a lot with existential thoughts. Number 34, from Wheel, we have Movement. If you've been kind of missing your Tool kick and someone doesn't give you enough justice there, here's Wheel. They do amazing with the guitar work, the bass work, and the uses of different meter. This is the shortest main song on the album, but so fast-paced, so hectic, great harmonies on the chorus. The verses, as with a lot of this album, aren't super amazing, and the vocalist doesn't really have that power that Maynard does at times, but it is still one heck of an homage to Tool, and I would love to see more from this band because they put out a hell of an album this year. Number 33, speaking about Soen, we have Antagonist. Man, I really enjoy Soen's newest album, and there's a lot of really great songs from this album that definitely could have made this spot. But start to finish, Antagonist is the one that is the most consistent. That chorus has so much fun, chantable parts to it, and the guitar work on the verses just have so much amazing energy to them. Even when this song kind of lulls down in the middle, it is only there for a little bit and then picks right back up to get you into that final chorus. If you didn't check out Soen's album this year, definitely do, because trust me, I'll be talking about it a little bit later. Number 32, from Spirit Box, we have Eternal Blue. This album kind of snuck up on me the last time I listened to it. At first, I wasn't a huge fan of this album, but it grew more and more on me, just like this particular song. I honestly thought The Summit was going to be the one that was going to be in this position. But as I listened to Eternal Blue more and more, I love the mysterious, atmospheric nature of this song, the slow pace, the great drum work at times, and the beautiful melody line, especially when you get to the last chorus and they change up that last melody. You can really sit in the song and feel every moment, and that makes for a really, really solid song by Spirit Box. Number 31, we have from Lake Street Dive, Anymore. As much as I've always loved Lake Street Dive in terms of its jazzy, bluesy stuff at times, these are the songs from them that always get me. This is a song about the end of a breakup, or very close to the breakup, where the partner is just tired of everything that the other partner is doing. It seems like the other partner always just wants to fight and win and make excuses, and at this point the partner in question is not even fighting back. They're just accepting that this might be the end. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous melody from Rachel Price. The chord progression works so well too. It's a little bit more complex than Didn't Do Anything Wrong, but this whole entire song just hits you in the feels as this person is realizing that their relationship might be over. Number 30, we're going to continue with the feels with Lil Nas X and Void. Honestly, there's a lot of great songs on that album, and you could have picked a lot of them. Montero, Calling Me By Your Name, Industry Baby, That's What I Want, but this is the one that stuck the most with me. Super simplistic. The chord progression is a lot of half steps and whole steps down, and it just repeats itself. But it sets up for this really gorgeous melody and lyric from Lil Nas X, talking about that this person is kind of done with everything and wants to run away from life. It is a really heartbreaking song, and one that does really well with just building over time with the drum work, with the guitar work, and then letting that tension go for a little bit before building back up again. The blue I wrote to you, say I'm gonna run away from home, in Lil Nas X falsetto. Like, that is absolutely gorgeous. One of the more gorgeous lines from 2021, making for such a heartbreaking song. And keeping up with that theme, we have from Phineas, Only a Lifetime, another gorgeous song. This one talking about the existentialism of life. What are you going to bring with you when you're gone? What are you going to remember the most at the end of your days? And what is most important to you at this moment? The chorus is absolutely gorgeous, and the musings in the verses, it makes you really think. The piano work fits so well for this particular song. If you haven't checked out Phineas's album, do so, especially if you've listened to Billie Eilish's and wasn't a huge fan of that. You should definitely check out Phineas, because he put out a really solid album in 2021. Number 28 from Manchester Orchestra, we have Obstacle. Again, an album that has a lot of really solid songs that I could have picked from, but this one spoke the most to me. This is the song where the lead singer's father or grandfather was just about to pass from illness, and these are a lot of the last thoughts that was going through the singer's mind, and may also be partially the father's mind as well, where you are on your deathbed and you're still fighting to the end, and maybe even being in denial about it at times. This one builds beautifully, especially from the finger-picked guitar moving into the full band. The drums kind of remind me of a song from their previous album, but it works really well and kind of ties some of the nature of the previous album and this album together. Honestly, when you get to the ending of it, where Andy Hall is kind of screaming his vocals, the I don't want to lose control, it's heartbreaking, especially when you get back into the lull of the outro. It makes you feel like you had this moment of either clarity or of anger, and it's letting go now. It's really heartbreaking, and it's a beautiful song. If you haven't listened to the new Manchester Orchestra album, like of all these, check it out. The story is gorgeous, and this is one of the more culminating parts of that story. Number 27 from Turnstile, we have Endless. Now we go on to some more fun songs. This is a short, sweet, about 2-minute song. Really fun pop punk. I love the groove here, especially when it slows down before getting to the more sped up parts. The yeah, 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 combined with yeah, 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 yeah. Like, very simplistic. But overall, it's a really, really fun song about just persevering. When there's a wall, you got to break. It's a hell of a fun song. To wrap up this part of the video, number 26, we have Blue World from Blue. Another song about death, but particularly this is Blue talking about the people that he's lost in his life and making it kind of an in memoriam for the people that he's lost and loved along the way. A lot of this album has a lot of great samples, and this one is no different. It fits the mold of this song really beautifully. It's a more jazzy, somber song, but also a song that has a little bit of brightness in it. Even though these people are gone, they are not forgotten, and hopefully they are in a better place. This is Blue's Send Off. Just like this is a send off for me right now. This is the end of part 1. Judging by the time, we still have 25 more songs to go over. So let's cut it here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you did, a few things that you can do. 1, give this video a like. Number 2, let me know some of your favorite songs from 2021. And number 3, and most importantly, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. That way I know that you enjoy what I'm doing. I want to see this channel become bigger and better for the future. So I'll be back with part 2 as we go over the remaining 25 songs from my favorite songs of the year. Until then, this is a Music Fan, and I'm signing off.